to live, you must kneel and beg forgiveness.
I don't know any Kakarot. That's not my name.
Don't you lie to me.
My name's Goku. Goku.
Then die here, fool!
What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a good day. And over the past couple of weeks, I've been enjoying Battlefield 6 probably more than I thought I ever would, because it's, one of the better FPS games that we've gotten in a long time. I know it's the situation to where we really haven't had any good FPSs in a while, so once we get something at least semi-decent, it actually feels extremely good to play a proper first-person shooter after years of having nothing since, pretty much the pandemic started. But I wanted to make today's video about the fact that Battlefield has absolutely been killing it with the feedback and implementing fixes into their game as quickly as possible, which is a really nice, breath of fresh air, seeing a development team actually care and put, a touch of kindness into their game, and they actually have a soul and passion to make these games. Other than on the flip side, their competitor, Call of Duty, can't seem to fucking figure out anything, can't seem to put anything into their game without breaking everything, no matter what update comes out. I think even with this Season 6 update for Black Ops 6, I really don't even think that anything was really broken with the game, other than the fact that nobody's fucking playing the game, and therefore nobody's reporting on whether or not there's issues to be reported on. And it's kind of nice to be able to talk about a game without there being a bunch of issues to talk about, because, I've been trying to make videos and talking about the complaints from the community and just kind of giving my voice on the, situation as a whole. But as I make these videos, they pretty much have been patching and making every single one of our issues fixed within like a day or a couple of days at most. I know there's still a couple issues where people aren't getting their tokens from when the EA app was down on the first day of launch, and unfortunately, I hope everyone gets those tokens at some point, but I don't know what they're doing exactly. I don't know if they broke something, but hopefully that will be fixed as fast as they are fixing pretty much every other complaint that we've had with the game so far. Also, before we move on, if you continue to come back to my videos, or if you're finding my channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, because it helps me out a lot. And we're still on our way to 1,000 subscribers, the long climb to the main milestone for me that has been here all year. So if you want to see more content like what I've got for you today, I pretty much upload every single day. So go ahead and consider it, and let's get back into it. Some of the biggest complaints that I've seen from the Battlefield community so far has been just kind of surrounding the progression and XP system for the game, because it was a little painfully slow. I mentioned in a couple of my videos that I wasn't exactly, too upset with the amount of XP that we were getting in each of our weapons, but it did feel after a while, it was like, man, this is taking a little bit too long once you start getting up into the higher ones. And I'm somebody who's not going to sit there and join a portal server just to farm XP. I think that's boring, and I don't think that's a natural way to get through the game. I like to play the game and just let things naturally happen. And I'm happy to say that they fixed the XP rate. So now as you're playing, you're just getting constant attachment pop-ups. You're getting leveled up easily. You're increasing all of your vehicles as quickly as possible. I flew around in a helicopter for like 3 or 4 minutes, and I think I leveled it up 3 or 4 times, which is really nice. And it's really nice to see that they're implementing a system that is going to help keep the retention for the game a little bit longer. But I also don't think that it's too fast. I think it's actually kind of in a good sweet spot. It could be dialed back a little bit, because I do think that people are just going to rush through it as much as possible, but you can't rush through it through XP farms on the portal mode, because they're actually shutting down as many of the XP farms as possible. And I don't mind that idea. I've really despised the idea of these XP farms. I mentioned in my beta review that I was worried about the portal XP farms because it was the same issue with Battlefield 2042. They had XP farms there. They had to reduce all the XP earned in Portal overall, and it pretty much killed the entire game mode, because nobody wanted to play a mode that didn't offer you as much XP as the main one. And of course, there were still XP farms when they had that battle pass with all the Battlefield 6 cosmetics. People were sitting in those XP farms, and of course, it it just kind of reared its ugly head again. But, you know, they couldn't really change anything after that. The game was pretty much out the door at that point, and Battlefield 6 was coming out. But that was my main concern. I knew XP farms were going to be a problem, and I'm glad that they're addressing them quickly before the game ends up, you know, leaving its honeymoon phase, which is, you know, pretty much right around the corner. But then again, right around the corner is going to be the update on October 28th, which is apparently, you know, rumored. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. They haven't really said anything yet, that the Battle Royale may be coming out on the 28th, which I think is going to bring back a lot of players, because I know, at least from the comment section of my own videos, that people aren't really excited for the multiplayer. Some people only like Battle Royales, which is perfectly fine. And they're only looking forward to Firestorm, which I think everybody's going to enjoy a lot better than the Battlefield 5 version this time around. I do think that the Firestorm Battle Royale is actually going to be a pretty interesting rendition of the Battle Royale genres. And I've always been a fan of Battle Royale. I've played PUBG when it came out. I played Fortnite when it came out. And, well, I kind of usually fall off of those games after a while. Like, I've been around the block and played a fair number of them. I think the only one that I never gave a chance was Warzone, because I gave it a chance. I played it, but it never caught my attention. It was the most boring, just uninteresting Battle Royale that I've ever played, and I never understood why that one was as popular as it was. But Battlefield may end up getting the same treatment. Maybe I don't like it, maybe I do, but we won't know until we actually give it a try once Season 1 drops for Battlefield 6. I think one of the better things that they've already implemented into the game with a recent fix, with all the XP and the XP farm servers and the portal fixes and all that, they actually made it to where the assignments, which usually unlock only around level 20, will now switch over to unlock around 10, 15, and 20 respectively. So now you'll unlock challenges kind of conveniently as you level up through the early levels. And I think that's a much better option, because it did feel like there wasn't really anything you were going for other than just to play the game from level 1 to 20. And now once you hit level 10, which is arguably pretty easy, you'll get a bunch of challenges that you'll be able to unlock, new gadgets, new operator skins, and just new guns in general. So that's a really nice thing that they're doing this time around. And that's the whole point of Battlefield, is just this big sandbox of all these different weapons and gadgets and abilities, and of course the vehicles as well. So of course, why wouldn't you want people to get into those as quickly as possible? We all know that you're probably going to be adding more stuff as the seasons and live service drip feed starts happening, which, again, I'm not a big fan of the live service method, but hey, that's what the industry's going for now, and I fear that eventually it'll boil over into a point where nobody is enjoying it as much as they were. I know people aren't, enjoying a live service game such as Call of Duty anymore, because the game has been coming out with the same bullcrap every single year at this point. You have a game like Battlefield that's making implementation of all their feedback as quickly as possible, and Call of Duty sat there stagnated for the last 5 years. Like, I know you guys caught lightning in a bottle with Warzone during the pandemic and COVID and all that, and that's really awesome, but the problem is that you decided to just keep the same crap for the last 5 years, and now you have pretty much nobody playing your game. I mentioned before that with Black Ops 7's beta, or the open beta coming out, the game had a peak of 99,000 people, but the level off right at the top of the day, the peak player time, was around 75,000. And now that the beta is gone and people are kind of hanging out waiting for the next game to come out next month, the game is now floating around 50,000 players, and that's over the entire Call of Duty app. So that includes Warzone, Black Ops 6, and any other game that they have included in that system right now, which could be, MW2, DMZ, and all the other stuff, which, I'm probably wrong about that, but it's just the fact that you have multiple titles only holding 50,000 people on PC, which is really, really not good for Call of Duty. People are super fed up with it, but it's also the fact that if 75,000 people were at the peak time for the beta, and now you're at 50,000, you only had 25,000 people joining your beta when they were playing on PC. It's no wonder they're freaking out and now trying to make changes to their game as quickly as possible. But it's not going to help at this point. Battlefield's already come out. It's holding over 400,000 players concurrently at all times during the day. It might dip below that during the night, but oh my god, this has to be a complete nightmare scenario for Call of Duty. And honestly, I don't care at this point at all. I think the game should get its crap beat in at this point. I think Battlefield deserves to beat the shit out of Call of Duty this time around, because they kind of fumbled with Battlefield 2042, and that was the last game that they were going to be able to to beat Call of Duty up with, and they ended up fumbling the bag there as well. So anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, because I upload pretty much every single day. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.